Okay, let's do some review and intermediate medication ordering. As before, we'll continue this omeprazole, the patient's home medication. Let's imagine a scenario where the patient says, well, yeah, I do take Xanax at that dose and frequency, but my prescription ran out. Can you write me a new one? To accommodate them, you may want to provide 10-day supply, something like that. In order to do that, to create a prescription that they can use, you go to the renew column, basically renewing the prescription. Let's click on that and work through this. That opens up all of the guts of the order again. You can see that this is the size pill. That's the unbreakable concept for that medication. That size pill is built into that concept. And here's a reiteration of the strength. The dose is 0.25 milligrams PO nightly, and you can see the PRN box is checked. Just like in POM, CPOE, if you click this, it requires entry of reason for the use. If the PRN is not clicked, it's not required. Quantity, we just want to give them 10 pills. And don't use days, use quantity. And this dispenses tabs. So let's go ahead and we'll save that. Now you can see that here in the Xanax string, number 10, I'm identified as a prescriber here, and that it is renewed. If you have multiple physicians teeing up medications for discharge, this is an easy way to see who's already done what. Maybe a cardiologist has renewed a cardiac medication. And same thing will happen down here with continuing inpatient meds. So anyway, lisinopril and hydrochlorothiazide, let's continue that. Lasix. So the patient's on 20 milligrams PO/BID here. We had continued that in the hospital, but we think maybe they need some more at home. So let's change that. So in order to change a home medication, the way that this ends up being most clearly represented on the discharge instructions is if you follow a very specific pattern. There are different ways to do this, but I'm going to show you the best way. So we want to change this Lasix. You don't continue it, you don't stop it. You might think to renew it, and you could do it that way, but don't. Come over here to the details column. Go to the details column in order to change a home medication. This opens up the guts of the order, and just as I pointed out for the Xanax, here is the furosemide 20 milligram tab. So we want to tell the pharmacy computer to dispense a different type of tablet, and we're going to go up to 40s. Let's click on that name, and it's going to ask if we want to replace this order. Yes. This is going to take us down to the medication section, creating de novo prescriptions, and it's going to remind us that we're replacing a medicine and what it is. I need to pause and point out this annoying issue of the parameter flipping from common to name. So in the name section, again, this looks up in the entire Giganto dictionary, and as an example of why this is a place you don't want to be if you don't have to, let's open this up and you can see there's all sorts of stuff. There's Lasix powders and injections and all this, and what we're looking for is probably somewhere down here. Oh, it is. So you can find this, but it might be worth flipping from name and looking in common and seeing if furosemide is in common. It is. Here we go. 40 milligrams PO/BID. Only thing you see here is that the quantity is not in there. When we click on that med, it highlights it in yellow, indicating it's required. Doing BID for a month is 60. Apologize for doing the math. And we'll go ahead and select that. And then as we scroll back up here, we see that the Lasix 40 milligrams PO/BID number 60, and again I'm identified as the prescriber. Even though we went into details, it now says, oh, you're creating a prescription, so it puts it in the renew column. The output of this is better than this hiccup here. The ibuprofen, we're not going to continue that. We'll stop that. So now let's come down and look at the inpatient medications again. You cannot do IV fluids as prescriptions. Here is IV fluid with IV Cipro in it. Oh yeah, I need to send the patient home on some oral Cipro. So we'll come down to meds. We're in common. Let's type in Cipro. There's some strings here. 500 BID number 6. That's a 3-day course. That's a 5-day course. Let's say I want a 7-day course. So I'm going to change that to 14. select that. There it is, and I'm identified as the prescriber. It's teed up as a new order, and it's waiting to see if I'm going to prescribe another medication. So that's fine, but I'm not going to. Nicotine, transdermal patch. Okay, that sounds good. It asks us to put in the quantity. That sounds good. We'll do 7 days of that. 7 patches of that. The Protonix has been converted back to omeprazole from the inpatient version. Trazodone, 50 milligrams. Oh, getting this every night here in the hospital. I want to change that from scheduled to PRN. So again, here are all the little elements of the string. We click on that, and we want to do insomnia. There we go. And then it does require quantity. We'll do 20. You could give refills if you want to. That's what the RF is for. Okay, we'll do 1 refill. And again, I'm identified as the prescriber. Here's warfarin, 5 milligrams nightly. I'm going to continue that. I'm going to create a prescription for that. It does require quantity again. And we'll go into some more sophisticated warfarin stuff in the next section. So I've addressed the home medications. I've done different things to the inpatient medications, and I'm going to go ahead and save this. Again, this is a point where you can see that these are the prescriptions, that the new prescriptions that will be printed out, and the others are ones that have been continued. So I'm going to do save and print prescriptions. If I do save and print, it will print out to the nearest printer to your station. If I just do save, it will save all of that stuff, but the prescriptions won't print out. So that's a way to kind of get it all ready. If you get some of it ready and do the rest later if you want to. Whoops. And again, can't say why this one is defaulted, but that's an example of what will happen with all of them for in the test system here. I'm going to do print, and then I'll save this, and it'll print out at that printer. And you can see, as before, that all these actions that I've taken, these are the new ones, continued, changed prescriptions. And again, so I changed the Xanax prescription. Had been some undefined monthly quantity, and now I've defined it as 10. So the system says, well, you did something different, so I'm going to call that changed. But this is where things get a bit helpful, is that the furosemide, you can see that it was 20 BID and it's now 40 BID, and that is a very clear thing compared to a lot of the instructions patients get now. And stop medications. Again, if you want to, you can preview the patient report to see what they're going to see. So that's some intermediate discharge medication management. Thank you.